everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. And today is a very special episode. If you have listened the last couple of weeks, you've heard me talk about this. If you follow me on social media at Sooner Girl Pod on every platform, if you don't, you should go do that now. You have heard and seen me posting and sharing about how today's episode is the special inaugural episode of a series that I'm introducing called the Crimson Chronicles. So what the Crimson Chronicles are fan stories where fans will tell us their stories and talk about how they are sooner born or sooner built. And on my very first episode, I wanted it to be a very special guest, and it is my best friend, Karen Letz. And you will hear more about this during our interview, so I don't want to give too much away here in the intro. But when I met Karen in 2000, we worked at a summer camp together. When we were both in college, I was at OU, she was at Angelo State in San Angelo, Texas. She grew up in Abilene, Texas. She did not know anything about OU. And she did not know anything about football. Her family is not into watching sports. And so she was very intrigued by the fact that I was, and my love and my passion for all things OU. And so I taught her everything that I knew about OU football and OU sports in general. And over the years, she has come to love it just as much, almost, as me. And she says that she is the house that I built, and she was made the Sooner fan that she is today by me. And so I am so excited to get to sit down and talk with her. We recorded this a few weeks ago when I was visiting her in Texas, and it was just a super fun conversation. We have lots of stories and memories from over the years as well. And so I hope you guys enjoy the inaugural episode of the Crimson Chronicles with my best friend Karen. And if you like this interview, again, please go like, follow, subscribe, download on your favorite podcast app. I'm available on Apple, Spotify, and Substack and YouTube. And also give me a follow at Sooner Girl Pod on all social media platforms. And stay tuned throughout the fall. I have already recorded 2 more episodes for the Crimson Chronicles, and I have another one on deck this week to get recorded. And I will be dropping these every 4 to 6 weeks or so, just kind of sticking them in throughout the fall for sure, for the foreseeable future. But I have several more awesome interviews coming up with fans. OU fan that grew up her entire life, and now her son is in the Pride of Oklahoma, a current member. And I have a special Bedlam double episode with a former softball player from OU who is married to a former double sport athlete from OSU. My husband, Eric, who is a Poke, joins us for that episode. And those 2 episodes will be coming in the next month or so. And then I'm also recording later this week with a sweet friend of mine who also is Sooner born, grew up and went to OU and was a member of the rowing team. So it's not just a quote fan story. It's a very special fan story. All of these I have coming up with ties to the university, to the athletic department, to sports, and you guys won't want to miss any of them. So for my very first episode, please enjoy Crimson Chronicles with my best friend Karen Letz, who is Sooner built by me. Hello, everybody. I have my best friend Karen here for the very first episode of Crimson Chronicles, and I am highlighting OU fans. Karen's the first one. I have several others lined up. And it is Sooner born or Sooner built. And some people are Sooner born, like myself. We were born into it. We didn't really have a choice. It's all we've ever known. And some people, like Karen, are Sooner built. Karen just happened to be Sooner built by me. And we're going to talk about that today. So thank you, Karen, for... Karen's very nervous, and I'm only saying that because I have said on here before how nervous I have been in the past, and I've kind of gotten used to it a little bit. So you guys send Karen all the love. Okay, so Karen, I've known you for 25 years. Yep. And when I first met you, we met in a very unique way. Do you want me to tell that story, or do you?
Yeah, you
Okay, so I'm going to tell a very brief story of how Karen and I met. We met in the summer of 2000. We were both working at Camp Buckner, which is a summer camp down by Austin. And it's no longer ran as a summer camp, but is now a retreat center. But at the time, we both worked there for 5 summers.
I worked 4.
4? Okay. So we were there for several years together. We were roommates. So we met um, in the bathroom line for our drug test.
Fill My Cup
The Fill My
Ministries.
Cup Ministries. So Karen was late getting to camp. Long story short, she was kind of a last minute hire. And so I'm at the back of the P line to do my drug test because I didn't drink water back then. I think I maybe had one sip of water in about 30 years of life. Karen had just gotten there late.
After drinking a large.
After
giant
drinking
Dr.
a lot
Pepper.
of water, or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
That's what we drank back then. We didn't drink
We
water.
didn't drink water like
Oh, we didn't know what that was. And so she really had to go to the bathroom. So I could tell, she's doing the pee dance or whatever. And I'm like, hey, girl, you go, sister, because I'm over here trying to get the kidneys going. And so we got to talking, I guess, after you peed. I don't know.
No, we didn't even go to the line yet. I sat down.
Okay.
And you were right in front of me with 5 cups of
Yes.
water in front of you. And I had to go really bad, but you were just drinking water and then sitting it down and like, I can't go. And so then
was I pushing on my bladder then?
Okay, no, that was not a thing back then.
Don't ask.
Don't ask. But then I was talking about how I needed to go, but you couldn't go. 2 minutes into that conversation is when we realized that we were destined to be best friends.
Literally a couple of minutes in. And we decided to go because we were day camp counselors, not overnight camp. So we were staying in the lodge and there were 2 people to a room. So we said, hey, we want to be roommates. Literally known each other for like 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And honestly, what's funny is we have a lot of similarities. Our families have a lot of similarities, but we're also very different. And our families are also very different. So it's really kind of funny how it worked out. But anyway, all that to say, we lived together for many summers. And Karen is from Abilene. She went to school at Angelo State in San Angelo,
Texas.
So that was 7 hours from Norman when I was at OU. And there were many of times that I would crazily come down like on a Thursday or Friday and go back on Sunday. Like, what the hell? I guess like 7 hours one-way drive was nothing to a 20-year-old, I guess.
Nope.
I need at least 2 days to recover from that these days. But anywho, so we, over the years, have obviously gotten to know each other very well, and basically we're sisters now. And because I am an only child and I don't have, my parents have both passed, and so I don't have any family anymore. So I have Karen's family, and then my college best friend Jules, her family is also my adopted family. A shout out to that clan. But I'm very thankful for Karen and her family who, I remember the first time I came home with you, like your mom, like they didn't know me, and your mom's just like, come in. They're very hospitable. Like my family, we're not like that. And so, she's cooking all 3 meals a day, trying to feed you, all the things. So anyway, they took me in, and so I'm part of your family now.
Yeah, my mom definitely took in a lot of my college friends.
Did.
She did. All of them.
She did. So. Yeah. So over the years, we've had a lot of ups and downs in life together, not between us, but just in life in general. And we've been there for each other for a lot of things, good and bad. Anyway, here we sit today, and I can tell you again how much Karen loves me because she gave up her covered parking spot for me, for one, at her apartment, and 2, she's sitting here in front of this camera, which she hates. So anyway, all that to say, now we're going to talk about how you became Sooner built, because you were not Sooner born here in Texas.
Nope, not at
all. You were clearly not a Sooner fan, but you also weren't a Longhorn, so that's good. I didn't convert her. I just made her. So you want to talk a little bit about that? You grew up playing sports, so you liked sports.
Yes, I played softball and basketball and volleyball. My mom was a cheerleader and my dad was on the basketball team, but we just were not a sport watching family. I love to play sports, but I never really watched them unless I was going live, like in person, because my dad's just never been a sports guy at all.
No.
Even though he was on the team, I think he had played on the basketball team because he had no choice, because the school was so small he had to play to have it for them to have a full team. So that was not a part of my life. And then in college, when I was at Angelo State, I didn't really go to any sporting events because I was working 30 hours a week at HEB. And when I wasn't doing that, I was going to school full time, 16 to 18 hours. So there was just not enough time of the day for me to go and get involved and watch any of the sports. So
when I met you, and I'm thinking of a hilarious story I have to tell about your dad. I probably have a couple, but when I met you, you probably thought I was nuts. I've always been like this during football season. Like, I go to all the games, I watch all the games. I traveled for out of town games because I had friends I'd met at Camp Buckner who went to Tech, Baylor, LSU, all these schools. And so I was constantly traveling around all over the place and visiting them and going to the OU games. and never went to Austin though. I've stood my ground with that one.
Yeah.
But that was not something you did, and so I took that for granted to have the ability to do that. And also,
I just couldn't because of work.
Yeah.
I would every once in a while I could go to like some of the smaller schools that were local, but I couldn't travel.
So, like I said, Karen's family has taken me in, and this story will prove that. This story actually happened several years down the road, but it came to mind, and I don't want to forget to tell it. So, just further proving that, one, your family loves me, and two, your parents, your dad, do not watch sports.
Not at all.
They usually watch Western movies.
Westerns and Andy Griffith.
And Andy Griffith on TV all the time. It's ridiculous. But it is literally the truth 24/7. Long story short, one time, who am I kidding? Long story short, this is not going to be short. Okay, so her dad had left. We were at her parents' house. Her dad had left the house for whatever reason. And so we're there. I think your mom was there.
Mm-hmm. She was.
And so Eric and I were there. We were married at the time. And we were watching the OU Clemson. Wasn't it Clemson?
I think so.
In 2014, I believe, if I remember correctly. Anywho, if you remember that game, it was not going well. And of course, we've also, as OU fans, had some affinity for Clemson over the years just because Britt Venables was there at the time. We didn't want to have to play him, but we did, and it did not turn out well. So nevertheless, I am very superstitious, which again, we have discussed before. And as a joke, at some point during the game, someone gave me a brown paper bag to like breathe into. Mm-hmm. But I was sitting in her dad's chair because he was gone. Well, Dad comes home, I don't know, in the middle of the game, like third quarter probably. And I'm just like, sorry, dude. I mean, old man, he would have been like 60 at the time.
Yeah,
right?
somewhere around in there, yeah.
Like 60-year-old man, I'm like, sorry, dude, you can't sit here because your chair is occupied. And I'm superstitious, and I'm breathing in my brown bag, and I ain't moving. Her poor dad, at 60 years old, gets down on the floor in the living room and sat there. We have a photo of it. I need to find that, put it up here. Yeah. And so he spends the duration of that game on the floor. He thinks I'm nuts for sure.
Yes, but because he loves you so much, whenever you come over and there's a sporting event on, he turns it on.
That is true. That is true.
So he's watched many a football game or slept through many a football game.
He has a good nap too. So
he loves us. So
not going to turn down an opportunity to have a good nap, but nevertheless, maybe we're helping him. He just didn't want to admit it. Yeah. But so Karen wasn't familiar with the rules and all the things of football. And I have lived and breathed football literally my entire life. And so we sat down, I think it was at your apartment in San Angelo, and watched a game. Mm-hmm. I don't think actually it was an OU game. I think it was just like some random game because I don't do very good explaining things during OU games because I'm busy.
You're intense.
I'm intense, like literally intense. So we watched the game. I feel like maybe it was a Colorado game. I might have made that up. But it was some random college football game on TV. And I'm like, okay. So I just explained to her kind of the X's and O's and the ins and outs of, how the plays work and, first down, second down, third down, punting and all the scores, all the things. And so that was in the early 2000s, probably a couple years into our friendship. Anyway, so after that, you got kind of interested, like, okay, this is fun to watch. Like, I enjoy watching this. So you started watching the OU games. As you could. And then in 2004, you came to, was that your first time to Oklahoma?
I think it was my first time because I actually got brave enough to drive it.
Okay, that's right. Oh, yes. So we had our GPS back then was a ghetto positioning system. Can I say that on here? I guess I can. Anyway, it was basically MapQuest. That was cut out and taped onto the steering wheel. That's how we navigated.
That's how I navigated through DFW because I was scared to drive DFW because I live in Abilene.
But you did so good. And
I made it in one piece.
25 years later. So Karen came to Oklahoma in 2004. And the first time you came was earlier that spring. I believe spring break.
It was spring break because I was teaching at
That's right. So we went to the stadium. So you could see the stadium for the first time. And that was right after they had completed the new upper deck on the east side.
Yes. And that's when we decided we were going to have the bright idea to walk up all the ramps to the very top.
And we were 24 years old.
And much skinnier and had better lung capacity.
Yeah, for sure. I still can't believe we did that. It's deep up there, too. So that was her first time to
Only a couple of puffs on the inhaler.
Yeah. I needed an inhaler. I didn't have one. So that was her first time to actually Oklahoma, or to Norman. You had been to Falls Creek and stuff.
Falls Creek and OVU.
So she came and spent the week with me in Ardmore, and then we went up to Norman, saw the stadium. And that's when she said, I want to come to a game. And so we made it happen. It was that fall. I have a picture. I'll put that up for sure.
You love to ignore the 2000 hair.
Which I have so many funny stories about this. Okay, so I'm going to put the picture up from Karen's first game, our first game together in the fall of 2004. As people thought we were sisters. Like for years, people would ask us if we were sisters, and we would usually just laugh it off. Sometimes we'd tell them no. Well, now we're just like, yeah, we're pretty much sisters.
So it's easier to explain it.
We should have never denied it in the first place. We no longer resemble each other so much physically as we did back then. But we still, I mean, we act like sisters for sure. But anyway, so I'll put that picture up because it's hilarious. But the funny story on how we got into the game that day. Do you want to tell that?
Well, I mean, all I remember is that we were going to sit in the student section because we got student seat tickets.
This was back when you had a physical ticket and then your actual student ID. So all you did was flash your student ID and they scanned the ticket. So they didn't even look at the ID hardly or scan it. It was just like, oh, they have one. Here's the ticket, and you went on.
Yeah, so clearly I was not an OU student because I had just graduated from Angelo State. And so I needed a student ID to get into the game. So since we looked so much alike with our, fluffed out hair that you'll see in that photo, I borrowed her old student ID, an expired one, and we snuck in that way.
And it worked.
We went up to the guy, and I was nervous. It was like I was doing something illegal. And I gave him the ID, and he glanced at it, and I was like, okay. And so we're like, oh, all right, it worked, and took off.
So back then, my goal was to sit where the student section was located at the time. I would sit 40-yard line, 40 rows up. That's where I like to sit. My friends and I, that was our goal location. And also, I had graduated by that point, but my friend David was still in college, and he did not give two shoots about going to the game. So he purchased the season tickets for student season ticket. I just reimbursed him, and then he gave me the tickets, and that's how I was able to go that season. And then you were able to purchase additional student tickets like the week of the game for like $10 or something. And so I had someone get that for Karen, and that's how that happened. So it's a lot has changed with the ticket process
clearly
in the last 20 years. Yeah. So that's how that kind of worked back then. But we're
not condoning sneaking.
No, we're
the
not.
Games.
There's a lot of things I did in college that I probably wouldn't condone anymore. Also, don't put laundry detergent tablets in the fountains. But there's no fountains anymore. They took them all out, probably because of me. But that's a story for another day. So anyway, that's a little rundown on the ticket that's paid. So you went to your first game, you loved it, and just the fanfare of it, the whole thing, the band.
The band, the chills from everybody yelling the boomer and then Sooner. I was hooked at that point. And I was like, I've got to come to more of these.
So over the years, I mean, I don't know when your next game to attend would have been. I feel like maybe you came back like the next year or two.
I think there was a hiatus between it because at that time you hadn't gotten your season tickets yet.
That's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah,
that's when it really started. Is when you got your season tickets in.
So I've had season tickets now for about 13 years, I believe. So at that point, you pretty much started coming every year to stay with me at some point.
Usually the season opener.
Usually Labor Day.
Yep.
Yeah. And now it's kind of fluctuated a little bit because now she likes to cherry pick which game she comes to. So she's special like that.
Special and bougie like that. So.
She's special like that. So this year you're coming to the Auburn game.
I am.
So we're excited about that one. I told her, since it's in mid-September, so obviously not Labor Day weekend, but I said, if you can make that one work, it's like the return of Jackson Arnold.
That was the whole reason why I chose that one.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And so my poor hubby, he wants to join us for that game, but face value on those tickets are $200. So anybody has one they want to pony up for my husband, he, discount maybe. Just kidding. So anyway, so you've been to lots of games over the years. Mm-hmm. We've sat in the upper deck, in the sun, and we've about died.
Yep.
But now we're in the southwest corner, in the shade, and it's fabulous. And we have awesome friends who sit by us. Yes. Shout out to Brenda and Dan. They are faithful listeners to the podcast, I know. I don't know if they watch or not, but they may watch this one because we're on here and we're hilarious. So, but shout out to Dan and Brenda because I love sitting by them. And so we've all become, good friends and everything. And so Karen's been a regular.
Yeah, and she went with us to the coaches clinic this last year.
So when Coach Venable started his coaches ladies clinic 3 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. So I went to the first one with my friend Chelsea. Shout out Chelsea. We had a great time, and I was like, this was so much fun, but I kind of felt like, oh, this is a okay, well, you've been there, you've done that. Okay, it was so cool. Obviously, don't take it for granted. But I don't know that I would do this necessarily like every year because it's kind of pricey, but it goes to a great cause. Well, then Karen got super jealous because she saw all the pictures of me with the Play Like a Champion sign and the helmet and all the things. I don't blame you for being jealous.
I was extremely
so
jealous.
So Karen came back and you went 2 years with me.
I did.
Yeah. So the last 2 years Karen has come and gone, and Brenda joined us last season. We had the best time.
It was amazing.
It is so much fun.
Every bit of it. It was so well thought out, well planned, and it was so fun to get to actually meet the guys. So now, like when I watch the games, it's almost like they're my besties, and I know them. I'm like, oh, there they are on the sidelines. I know them. So that was one of the cool things about going, and they did take a hiatus from it this year. That's it. Which we're very sad about, and it is supposed to return in 2026. So if it does, I highly recommend checking it out, ladies, if you can, because it's totally worth it.
It's totally worth the money. It goes to a fantastic cause
and great memories.
I've done it now 3 years, and they tweaked it just enough each year to where you feel like you're doing something. I mean, you've still got your same staple things you do, like going on the field, tapping the sign, all the things. You get your general tour and all of that, but they tweak things just enough to pique your interest. You're like, oh shoot, I don't want to miss again. Yeah. You know, and there's an auction for some great items, a silent auction, an actual auction, and the players are there and they greet you and they call you by name. And the coaches too, they truly act like they're your best friends. Yes. So we're super sad. If anyone's listening to this that cares, we need are back, sad. Please. We need the ladies clinic back because it was so much fun. So that just goes to show how far you've come as far as loving OU sports. And okay, so I don't want to like skip over anything, but you being in Texas and being an OU fan too always cracks me up because you always have stories.
Oh yeah, I get riled all the time, even from my own family. And that's part of another reason why I like going for OU so much, because it aggravates them.
Well, there's one uncle in particular who likes to harass us. I'm not going to mention him by name because I don't know if he's going to listen, but he'll know. He'll know who he is. But
so he's kind of fun to go against the grain because it just
if you're watching, Uncle B. And so Karen being in Texas and sporting the OU gear. Now there's a lot of OU fans in the Dallas area, but not so much here. I mean, there's a few.
There are some, mainly because of the military base that's just down the road. It's kind of fun, like when I wear my OU gear out and about town, because you know everybody, when you wear your OU gear, it's like your long lost buddy. We'll come up to you and say, hey, I like your shirt, or we'll talk.
Like I've talked about before, there's nothing like the camaraderie. Like that's why I love going to away games, because if you're on a plane or anywhere and you see someone wearing that shirt, you're just like, oh my gosh, we're friends now. So you wore my podcast shirt. You had the Sooner Girl Sports Pod shirt, and you wore it to the grocery store a while back and had some fellows asking about it. So that's pretty cool.
I had some workers there that were interested in it, and I was telling them all about it. And they're here in Texas, but they wanted to know. They thought it was so cool that you were starting that podcast.
That's awesome. Karen's my podcast spokesperson for the Abilene regional area.
For the surrounding Abilene area.
And I do appreciate that. So this doesn't have to be this question I'm going to ask. What's your favorite memory? You can start thinking, like your favorite Sooner memory. It doesn't have to be something you've attended, because I know your attendance is regular but also limited. But you watch basically every game, and you've also started watching softball now that it's more readily available as well. And you pretty much follow all the OU things, you know, some more than others, obviously. But so what's your favorite Sooner memory that you can recall? I mean, it could literally be anything. It could even be at the ladies' clinic if you want. Game-wise that you've been to, watched, clinic-wise, anything that sticks out to you.
Let me have to think about that a little bit.
I thought you might say something about...
I mean, I was going to say...
Jaron and Danny.
I was going to say at the ladies' clinic for sure. That actually has to be the funniest one.
Sure. I will find this picture and put it up as well.
You know, Danny Stutzman is my favorite Sooner. Absolutely love him. And I loved when he was on the podcast, Jeremiah Hall and Jaron Cannon.
Oh, yes.
Willie. And so getting to meet him at the clinic was amazing. And I had on my Stutzman shirt from the OU Texas game, the classic shirt, which I don't have on, and I'm sorry. And then after we left the clinic, when we went to Pub Dub, and we were walking up, and
I'm going to put this picture up too.
Hollers at us and says, hey, nice shirt. He was wearing the exact same shirt. So then he walked up to us, because we were twinning that day, and he was like, that's my kid. That's my son, Danny. It was Papa Stutz.
At Pub W.
So we all took a picture together, and it was so funny and so fun to have seen Danny that day, and then an hour later ran into his dad.
So we showed him the picture. We're like, hey, look, here we are with Danny in our shirts, and now here we are with you. Now, Papa Stunts follows me on Twitter, so I don't know if he's a listener or not, but I do know he follows me on Twitter, so maybe he will see and hear this.
Yeah, it was a really fun
shout
day.
out to Papa Stunts, because we still think very highly of that day. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
We just have so many memories of that clinic and meeting the guys. They're just so friendly. And so over the years too, like I said, you've followed most OU sports, and just that's what you do now. So you haven't been to a softball game yet, so that's still on our list.
That's on the list.
But you were able to come to basketball last year.
I got to come to
first time, right?
The Bedlam basketball
at Lloyd
Noble, and then we went to the Bedlam game.
That's right, at Paycom. That's right,
year.
I forgot. Yeah, so you've been to two. So yeah, that's awesome.
And then I love soccer, and so we went to the first SEC game for the women's soccer team.
First ever SEC event on campus.
Last
fall.
Yes, with Julia, and that was really fun.
Not a good outcome.
It was not, but
I did apologize. Yeah, if you listened to the episode with Coach Mott and Hadley a couple weeks ago, I did apologize to them. I said I went to 2 meets last year, and I don't know if I'm bad luck or what, but I hope not, because I'm coming back this year. But
if you come back this year.
If I go back this year and things don't go well, I think they're going to ban me. And that's okay. I will do them a favor and not come. But we're going to give it a go. I've got 2 on the schedule for this fall. I've got Bedlam. Bedlam Soccer is August 17th. It's a Sunday. And OU Texas, anytime you can do this, horns down, is on Sunday, October 19th at home in Norman. So I will be attending those for sure. So yeah, hopefully those go my way so that Coach Mott and Hadley let me come back. Because otherwise I might get banned.
Yeah, they may be like, you're not coming back. But I have, of course, I'm going to go to a football game every year because that's my favorite. Next to you.
Yeah.
But we've been trying to go to different events because I want to cheer on different teams and see different events at the university. So I am looking forward to someday maybe going to a gymnastics meet.
Yes.
I really want to go watch the women's hockey once that starts.
Yes. Shout out Corey.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that. I'm so excited and can't wait to get your merch.
Yes. And I am not sure when the hockey schedule comes out. I've actually had a couple of people ask me that. And I don't know yet. Corey did say it would be later in the summer, but I'll be posting that. And I'm going to be checking my schedule because I'm planning to attend, obviously, first season of women's hockey. And then I've never been to a volleyball game. I'm planning on checking that out as well.
So that's kind of been our new thing. Like whenever I come to town, we try to check out a new event.
So hopefully we'll see how those schedules work out when you come up in September. I'm not sure if we'll be able to make something, but I think next on our agenda would probably also be at some point in the spring. Maybe we can hit softball and baseball, maybe at the same time too, knock out those. So yeah, and women's gymnastics is a lot of fun. And men's gymnastics is super cool as well. Shout out to my friend, Coach Mark Williams. He broke his wrist today. Yeah, he posted on his Instagram. He, I think, was trail bike riding, and I guess he fell off his bike.
And that's why we don't bike ride.
He's in a cast. And so one of the guys had dropped by and signed his cast. So best wishes to my friend Coach. I hope he gets well soon. So, but anyway, so you're making the rounds in Norman and you love Norman. What's your favorite place to eat in Norman?
I like the classic 50s.
Yeah.
For one thing. Gotta go get a cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. So. And there's usually a list of places.
Yeah, we rotate them out whenever I come.
Victoria's. The Mont. We like the Mont.
I did think of another fun memory that I enjoyed was the year that I did a double header.
Oh my gosh! Yes, how could we forget that?
Yeah, that was a long haul.
That was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
So y'all know my husband's a Poke, and he has football season tickets.
We love him anyway.
We do love him anyway. He can't be. So I do not, and we've talked about this. I do not go to Stillwater with him unless my slate is clear. And by slate being clear, I mean a bye week or an away game that's like not anywhere near the same time as the OSU game that's at home. He has a friend that will go with him on a very regular basis and a couple other that fill in because I usually only make a game, maybe 2 with him all season because I don't go up there. And we've talked about how I don't go to Bedlam up there.
How you feel about the folks.
Apparently so. So yeah, I don't go to Bedlam up there. Karen's actually who went with him a couple years ago
to the
very last Bedlam football game because I said, I'm not going. I will stay somewhere.
I volunteered as tribute.
And she handled it like a champ.
Yeah,
because
I actually had a great
we
time.
all know that didn't turn out well for our Sooners. But that's why she went, not me, because I'd have been in jail probably. Shout out to Jeremy.
And Kim would have had bail money.
And Kim would have got us. Shout out to Jeremy and Sherry. They are sitting next to us in Stillwater, and they are so kind. I don't think they listen to my podcast because they're
probably not because they're
but
folks,
I love them so much. They're so kind. And to be honest, they're like one of the main reasons I like to go to the games, because I like to visit with them and they're so kind. But yeah, I don't make it to Stillwater very often. So one year, Karen got super crazy. So OU had an 11 a.m. game and OSU had a 6 o'clock game. So usually, we'll take turns, or, we just kind of go our separate ways or whatever. Well, it just so happened that it worked out with this perfectly. Timing. Yeah, just 2 years ago, I think it was. Mm-hmm. It was the same season as Bedlam, because you went to 2 games.
Yes, and one season.
So Karen said, I will go to the 11 a.m. game with Larissa in Norman, and then I will go to Stillwater with Eric at 6:30. Which meant all of us had a long day. We also had our dog, Rhett, with us. So Eric was on Rhett duty during the OU game. I was on Rhett duty during the OSU game, which Rhett took a dump in front of the OSU library. And that's hilarious. I'm going to show you that picture, too, because I still laugh at it.
I definitely had neutral color shirt. So
you did some costume changing.
We left the OU game. Got coffee at Stella Nova.
Of course.
I jumped out, went and changed into a neutral colored shirt because I will not wear that gaudy orange. And then
it's not in my color wheel.
It's not in my color wheel. And then I took a nap in the truck.
Oh yeah, you did. Yes.
From Norman to Stillwater.
I don't know how we did it.
I don't either.
We left. I think it would have been. We left home about 7:30 that morning, probably. Just doing the math on what time I would have normally left. 7:30. For our 11 a.m. game in Norman, and then went straight to Stillwater right afterwards, like straight to it. And we did not get home from Stillwater till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was a long day, but we are too old for it.
But shout out Karen for pulling the double. I would never do
I don't know if I could ever pull a double again, but it was worth it to spend the day, a game with this BFF and then a game with the other BFF.
And he was so proud that you did. He wanted to show off his place.
He did, and he'd been asking me for a very long time, but it never worked out schedule-wise. So when we saw this opportunity, we're like, let's just take it.
The football gods shine down. Yeah. Or the poke football gods shine down upon you that day, because there's no way in heck I'd be doing that. And we certainly won't do it. It was a long day, even for me and Eric. We only went to 1 game each, but we were on dog duty in the opposite game. But it's just a long day to be gone and just be out in the heat and all the things.
But, it was really kind of cool to see the football culture in Oklahoma.
Yeah, for sure.
From both sides.
And like I said, you also attended the last Bedlam game that same season. And so you really got to experience. I wish that it could have been Norman, but it worked out good for you. Go with Eric, since I would not.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool.
Yeah, that's right. So I made a special trip up for that.
You did. Yeah. That was a lot of fun, because that meant a lot to Eric too, because he needed a football buddy and I was out. And I know I've said this 1,000 times. People have been, why would you not want to go to the very last Bedlam football game for the foreseeable future?
Because you'd end up in jail.
Listen, I think I've told the story before, how I almost got in a fight back in college in Stillwater. I left the town, said I'd never go back. And I didn't for at least close to 10 years. And then I told Eric, I will go back only if it doesn't interfere with me, and I will not go to Bedlam football. I have been to Bedlam.
As I say, you've been to different Bedlam
basketball,
events.
baseball. Yeah, but I can't do football. But I wear neutral colors, black usually. So Karen is an awesome BFF, and I'm so proud of what I made her to be.
Definitely Sooner built.
Oh my gosh,
that's for sure.
She is, and I love it because she's down here in Longhorn country, kinda. I mean, there's a lot of tech people here as well.
As I say, I'm kind of at the crossroads of tech and UT.
Yeah, kind of lots of Red Raiders around here, but you stand proud with your OU stuff. You have your necklace, you have lots of shirts, yeah, and you watch all the games, and I'm very superstitious about it, so I will. If she's not watching, or for some reason, I'll give her a hard time or make fun of her.
It's very rare that I don't watch. I will say I schedule around the games the best of my abilities.
And when she doesn't, I'll let her have it.
When she doesn't, I hear about it.
And then
through
I'm like,
text and phone call.
And then I'm like, well, you can't watch now or you need to go home and turn that TV on. I have so many pictures. I'm not going to dig up all these to show y'all because y'all do not care. But I remember after that Clemson game, it was the Orange Bowl that year.
Yes,
we went to the grocery store and we were holding oranges with our OU shirts and stuff on, and we were pouting. Eric took our picture, and then
you do need to post that one though. That's
okay, that is kind of funny.
Yeah,
let me make a note. Also, I'm just going to put orange bowls. And then
orange
also,
bowls, sadness.
Sadness. That's what I said. Okay, and then chocolate sadness too.
Yeah.
So it was the season opener for OU. Gosh, I want to say, I don't know the year. I'm not even going to try to guess, but we were playing Houston, and it was an away game, which is super rare for OU to open on the road. And we opened down there for some reason. And so, but Karen still came to Oklahoma for Labor Day weekend. Yeah. And we watched the game and we friggin' lost to Houston in the daggum opener. Still mad about that. And so we were traveling up to
we hold bitterness in our hearts for a long time. We're grudge holders.
We still do. So we were traveling up to the Turner Falls area after the game to go eat and check that area out for her. And we went to the Bedray Chocolate Factory, and we decided we needed chocolate to drown our sorrows from that Houston loss. And I have a picture of that too. Yeah, chocolate sadness, orange sadness. We've had our fair share.
We've had our fair share
of sadness,
happiness, and sadness.
So, do you remember? Gosh, what year would this have been? The Boise State game. Okay, yeah, your face tells it all. Okay, we don't have to. Every OU fan, all you have to do is say Boise State, and they know. And if you don't know, then Google it. Or don't. We don't want to talk about it. But a funny story about that is Eric actually met some people a couple weeks ago. I don't think I told you this. Mm-hmm. And they were Boise State fans. And he was telling them about my podcast, because shout out hubby for being like my PR guy. He was telling them about what I do, and they were like, oh, you should ask her if she remembers Boise State. And I'm like, oh, of course I remember. Why would you even ask that? Well, they were being honored, which I'd have done the same thing. Come on.
If the roles were reversed.
If the roles were reversed, I'd have been like, you need to tell them Boise State. So anyway, your face says it all. Yeah. Your face says it all. You have not been to OU, Texas yet, which is understandable. No. It's a lot.
I don't know that I am ever going to be ready for that.
It's a lot.
But I scream and yell at my TV, and my neighbors probably hate me during football season.
They probably do. Well, mine do too, and I'm in a whole separate house.
So
yeah. Do you have any memories though of like watching a game and being like super passionate about it? Because I have a funny story about OU Texas one year. I should find that picture. And Eric took a bunch of pictures of me, like wallowing on the floor. It's pretty funny. Like, do you have, because I think about making your dad sit in the floor for the Orange Bowl with Clemson that year and then us not winning. And then I think about the OU Texas game, which I'll put that picture up just because it's funny. Or Eric took a lot of pictures of me wallowing. Is there anything that sticks out to you? Like,
I mean, that's kind of hard to say because when I watch football, I'm here at my house by myself watching it.
That's true.
So I don't really have any of that interaction because
that's true.
I live alone, and so
yeah.
But I have, like I said, I have screamed at the TV many a time, joyously and angrily. I have also felt many a bruise from you when I have attended games in person when things are not going well.
You don't sit on the right side of me.
But also when things are going well. So I always know, one of these days I'm going to get like a shoulder pad or something right here to protect the arm. Because I should know by now that I'm going to leave the games with a bruise.
So the guy that sits on my right side in Norman, his name is Joe. And he's from the metro area, and Joe is very passionate about football as well, and I can't wait to tell him about my podcast when I see him this fall. But Joe is hilarious, but I also don't really know him that well. Like, I don't even know his last name at all. Just know his name is Joe, and like, we're friends at the game, but I've hit him a time or two.
I'm sorry,
like,
Joe.
I mean, I just like, whoa, just wall off. I mean, I can't help it.
She doesn't even know she's doing it.
I
That's
don't.
The funniest. Gosh, did you see that? Did you see that?
Happen. So Joe's been hit. So sorry, Joe. Joe's been hit. But anyway, so who's your favorite player, like in the past, or that I know you love Danny and Jaren. Mm-hmm. Are there any others that stick out to you that you've enjoyed watching or that you miss? Or
I mean, obviously Baker.
Yeah, I miss Baker.
And all you have to do is say Baker.
Yeah.
So Baker is one of my top.
Yeah. Could be other sports too.
Yeah. I mean, Jada Coleman.
Of course. Yeah.
The home run robber.
She's awesome.
Yep.
Hits them and robs them.
Yeah. Kinsey Hansen. I mean, all those peeps. So all those girls. And all things they are. They really are.
They are. Okay. So, any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to share?
I can't think of anything.
Well, you're welcome for making you. This is her OU wall behind her. So we have quite the few memories and photos that I've gotten her, and then her name tag from the clinic, and some car tags, and a couple flags that with autographs that were signed at the ladies' clinic. So
my memorabilia wall.
I am very proud that Karen has been
the house that Larissa built.
That's right, Sooner built by none other than moi.
It's true.
My dad would be so proud.
Your dad would be proud.
So freaking proud, because that's where I got my OU.
That's where it started. That's where it started.
He would be so proud.
Jerry
yeah, I don't know, since I just showed that, I don't know that I've ever shown my tattoo on the podcast. I have shared it on social media, but I have the state of Oklahoma on the back of my arm and the OU DNA. So I legit, I'm hardcore. And I made Karen the house that Larissa built right here, baby. So you're welcome, I guess. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's a blessing.
Sometimes it might be a curse, but
sometimes it is. But it's always good times. And some of my favorite memories, I love sharing the football experience or the OU sports experience with people close to me that it also means a lot to. Mm-hmm. They share my passion because I can't just go to a game with just anybody. I mean,
it's true.
I can't. I have a very short list of acceptable people, and Eric is on that list because he behaves. He's not a loud, obnoxious poke at all. So he's like, he's one of these people. I cheer for Oklahoma. I don't cheer for Oklahoma. If you do that, that's totally fine, but that's not normally my jam. I don't do that. But shout out to those who do. But my husband, truly, he has kind of become a little bit of an OU follower over the years. Obviously, he's much, much nicer than I am. But I'm grateful to have built Karen and get to share that with her because my other BFF, my college BFF, Julia, we also share that passion. Although she's not quite as crazy as we are. She definitely thinks I'm nuts. She prays for me a whole lot.
She's a saint.
She's a saint. She needs to pray for Karen too. But anyway, I'm thankful to have Karen to share all of my fun OU stuff with. I probably blow your phone up a lot with things you're like, oh my God.
No, but I do the same thing to you. Like when when I'm home watching games,
true,
I'm blowing up your phone. So.
I do not talk to just anyone during football games. I will talk to my husband if he's not with me. Karen, my friend Donnie Pierce. Shout out Donnie. My friend Blake Scott, I do talk to him on occasion as well. That's honestly pretty much it. If people that text, did you see that?
It's Larissa, of course she saw it.
What the hell else would I be doing? I can't. Anyway,
I love you. That's a whole story.
That's a whole other story. And I love all of my friends that text me. I do, but now's not the time. I will love you in about 4 hours.
That's right.
So anyway, I'm grateful for Karen and our friendship and our sisterhood, and that I made her into the OU fan she is today.
And 25 years?
Yeah, 25.
Now
we have been friends longer than we weren't.
Yeah.
Which is really
all because
crazy.
Of Camp Buckner and Fill My Cup Ministries.
But thank you, Karen, for coming on the podcast for my very first Crimson Chronicles episode, Sooner Built.
Karen, I enjoyed it, and I was terrified.
Look at her. She had fun.
I had a blast.
Yeah, I might do it. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, well, thanks you guys for listening.
Bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed that awesome interview, sit down, story time with my best friend Karen. I truly appreciate her coming on with me. She's very quiet normally. Well, she doesn't like to speak in front of a lot of people. So when I first asked her to do this, I wasn't sure if she would, but she thought about it and she was like, yes, I want to be a part of this. So I truly appreciate you, Karen. Thank you. I love you so much. I'm very thankful for our friendship, and thank you for being a supporter of the pod and for being a part of this awesome segment of the podcast that I'm introducing going forward. So thanks for being a part of it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, I have several more great guests coming up in the next few months with episodes of the Crimson Chronicles that you will not want to miss. And be sure and stay tuned on social media. If you are listening to the audio version of this and not watching on YouTube, I did put up on the screen several photos as we were recording talking about different things that had happened over the years. Put those up on the screen, but if you were not watching on YouTube, you did not see those. So I will be posting those photos on social media throughout the week so that you guys can see the photos where we discussed Good Boy Friday with my dog Rhett, our memories from the ladies clinics with Coach Venables, some photos of us through the years, and as heard on the episode, some superstitious times with her dad, some photos of us after a couple of game losses, and when we met Danny Stutzman and his dad and we were all wearing the same shirt. Pretty funny. So if you heard those stories on the show, you'll want to check out those photos again. They were available on the YouTube video, or they will be dropped on social media throughout the week. So believe it or not, here we are in the middle of July, and I've kept thinking that at some point I'm not going to have a lot of Sooner headlines to discuss, but the news just keeps coming. So here we are. I'm recording this on Monday, July 21st at 2:30 in the afternoon. And just a few hours ago, it was announced the 12-member search committee for our new athletic director. I talked last week about Joe Castiglione announcing his retirement just a couple of weeks ago, and he's been with the university for nearly 3 decades. So it is a huge announcement and obviously a huge task going forward to find someone to fill his shoes. There were the 12-member committee announced today with several people in a wide variety of fields to come aboard and help find someone to fill his shoes. And they are Randall Stevenson, which is our chair of football and special advisor to the president and the AD. Holly Hunt, who's the VP of Executive Affairs and Chief of Staff. Armand Pagliata, he's the Vice President and General Counsel for the university. David Surratt, Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Coach Bob Stoops, Executive Director, Special Advisor to the Athletic Department. Amy Noah, VP and Chief Advancement Officer of the OU Foundation. She is a designee from outside of the university. Steve Gensler, Jean and Elaine Edwards Family Chair in Law, President, Associates Presidential Professor. He's a faculty representative. Casey Crawl, Associate Registrar, Staff Representative. Kinsey Hansen, K9, former softballer. She is a student representative on the board. Sam Bradford, former University of Oklahoma quarterback, who is a designee from outside of the university. Former coach Sherry Cole, former basketball head women's coach from OU. She is a designee from outside of the university. And Dorothy Anderson, who is the VP and Chief Human Resource Officer's ex officio member of the committee. So going forward, those will be the people who are looking for our future AD. And again, if you missed last week's episode or the announcement and don't know a lot of the details, Joe Castiglione announced his retirement on July 7th, but he will remain on staff full-time doing the thing until next July of 2026. And then he will remain on staff as a special advisor for special projects that he'll be a part of and wrapping up for 2 years after that. So he will still be a part of the athletic department through July of 2028. Okay, for football, we had a big announcement at SEC Media Day last week. It was on Wednesday, and we had John Mateer, R. Mason Thomas, Robert Spears Jennings, and Coach Venables, of course, who represented the university at SEC Media Days in Atlanta. And Coach Venables gave us some fantastic news in telling us that Giovanni Gibson, who is a wide receiver transfer from Arkansas Pine Bluff that we obtained in the offseason, he broke his leg early in spring practice, and it was a huge blow. Hearing that is not something that Sooner fans wanted to hear. He came in with a very promising future and to be a big role in the team going forward, and to take that hit literally in spring ball was not something that Sooner fans wanted to hear about going into the new season. This is a very crucial season going forward for a lot of reasons, as we all know. So hearing that Giovanni is in a boot and he is starting to do some warm-ups and can get back to the groove of things and will be available in the near future. Probably not the opener, but I am betting they are hoping to have him available for the Michigan game, which is week 2. And that's just fantastic news all around. Britt Venables had a great speech at SEC Media Day. If you missed it, you can go back and check it out on social media or on Sooner Sports TV.com. He owns the responsibility and the pressures that it is to be a Sooner. I cannot tell you how much I want him to succeed as the head coach. I cannot tell you how much I respect him as a person. As a coach, I have never heard anyone say any one bad word about that man. And I just want, of course, selfishly as a fan, I want my team to have a great season. Of course, it's fun to win, to have a great season. But just him as a person, as a coach, his staff, there's so many fantastic coaches on that staff. I want them to have a great season. It's just one of those things where every year since he's been here as a head coach, it seems like there's been something that's held the team back from their full potential, their full capacity, and it's just been super stressful. But I feel like this year the pieces are all coming together. We have a great coaching staff. We have a qualified quarterback coach on staff and who's tried and proven. We have a very qualified quarterback, not saying previous ones were not qualified by any means, but one that has performed at the higher level consistently for quite some time, and that's extremely promising. He's someone from the area that is happy to be back home, so to speak, coming from the DFW area. So it's just very promising going forward this season. And to hear Coach Venables mentioning Eddie Pierre-Louis, how he's going to play a lot on the O-line. He said he thinks we'll see a lot of UK Dan, which is Daniel Akinkumi. He also mentioned Michael Fasusi, Ryan Fodige, David Stone, Cortland Gilroy as young players that will have roles on the team this coming fall. He also thinks that Jaron Kanek will be an important role in his new position, transferring over from the defense to the tight end room. The tight end room looks a little more promising this season as well. And again, back to Giovanni Gibson and the wide receiver room. They're pretty stacked, and we're all praying health and prosperity over that room for sure going into the fall. He said pound for pound, redshirt freshman Danny Okoye might be the best athlete on the team. There's plenty of hype this season for him as a second-year defensive end. Robert Spears Jennings was asked about our tough schedule, and I loved his quote. He said that he sees a lot of money games on our schedule, meaning that there will be a lot of scouts there, a lot of opportunity to show out and show the potential of the team. And I just think that him saying that they want to prove people wrong is by far one of my quotes from SEC Media Day. So again, I just truly cannot want this team to have a good season enough. Like, I want it so bad, and I know that all Sooner fans do. Again, not just because it's fun to win as a fan, but because we love Coach Venable. We've all loved him for 25 years, and even when he was at Clemson, he beat us when he was at Clemson. We still love the man. We respect him. I think he's an excellent defensive coach. He also stated that it's going to be a team effort as far as the games going forward, game management, as he will be calling the defense, and he's going to need others to help step in and keep the ball rolling, so to speak, on game management and things like that. And there's a lot of things at play when it comes to that, but I think they're up for the task. They seem to have an excellent plan, and my goodness, do I hope more than anything that is correct. But as we're sitting here right now, it is 39 days to kickoff. Well, 37 when this episode airs, and it's getting close, guys. It's getting close. We are just a mere 6 weeks away, and we're ready. We are ready to see what this team can do, and many thoughts and prayers and good vibes and juju and all the things as fall camp starts this week, as they start preparing hardcore for the season. We're on the downhill, and we're ready to go. So let's buckle up. All right, a few more headlines coming in for the Sooner headlines of the week. Our baseball team adds JUCO infielder Miles Davis. He hit .378 in 44 games this season at the State College of Florida. He was the number 102 overall player and number 29 shortstop out of high school by perfect game. It's a great addition for OU. Coach Skip Johnson tweeted out the looky here with the eyeballs this past Sunday, and we all know what that means. I knew he was getting somebody, and for him to add in The JUCO infielder with some experience. An excellent shortstop is a great add for the Sooners. And to wrap up a little talk about the MLB draft, as I recorded last week, I did get most of the signees in the episode, but a few more were drafted and a few more signed as free agents after I dropped the episode last week. So a little recap on that. Skip had his entire weekend rotation drafted for the third time in 6 years. 8 of the 9 went in the first 5 rounds. It is a pitching factory at the University of Oklahoma. James hit round 8, picks 250 to the Padres. Dylan Tate, he was selected 345 overall by the Dodgers. And 6th OU pitcher selected was Dylan Crooks, round 15, pick 437 to Colorado. Scott Mudler signed to the Braves as a free agent. We had 8 selections, tie for 4th among all of the schools. And we have 315 overall picks at the University of Oklahoma. This year, we had 8 draft picks, tied for 4th among all schools. We had 22 first-round draft picks, 48 draft picks under Skip Johnson, and 4 first-round draft picks under Skip Johnson's tenure at OU. So excellent place for our baseball team to be. We had some great additions added in this season, with the most recent being Miles Davis, and it looks like it's shaping up to be a great upcoming season for our baseball team on the diamond. For wrestling, congratulations to Rafael Hippolito Jr. on becoming the IBJIF Virginia Open champion. He is a Sooner, and we were happy to see him represent for us on the mat this past weekend. Tennis, congrats to former Sooner Kiana Montesona on winning the doubles title at the W15 Human Nadla in Mexico. Johan Rodriguez is the ITF in Bucaramanga champion. The incoming freshman for the OU men's team comes out to a victory and singles title in his home country. So congratulations to him. For track and field, for the very first time since 2011, both the men's and women's track and field athlete have been named to the CSC Academic All-America team. So congratulations to Olivia Luking and Ralford Mullings, Boomer Sooner. Thank you for representing our university well on so many levels this past season. For golf, our friend of the show, Reagan Cheney, earned the number 3 seed in match play at the Women's Western Am. She was featured on episode 14 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod back in April, on April 16th. If you missed that one, you can go back and listen to Reagan. She is a hometown girl from my hometown, and she was so much fun to talk to. Sweet girl. And so congratulations to Reagan, and she will be finishing out her senior season with the Sooners this coming school year. So I'll be looking forward to following her this coming season. And big news for Chris Gotterup again for another weekend. He tied to finish 3rd place in the Open. It's the best finish by OU men's golf alum since Anthony Kim's 3rd place at the 2010 Masters. Only one Sooner has won a major championship, which was Todd Hamilton at the 2004 Open Championship, and Charlie Coe's best result was tied for 2nd at 1961 Masters. But Chris Gotterup was tied, hanging on up there with Scotty Scheffler throughout the whole thing. He was in 4th place. He moved up to 2nd at one point, right behind Scheffler. He did end up finishing 3rd place with 12 under par. Scheffler was 1st with 17 under par at the Royal Portrush Open this past weekend. But my goodness, you guys, what an incredible week that he had, winning last weekend and then finishing at the top here in this tournament. Just incredible. So congratulations to Chris Gotterup for representing us well this past weekend. Okay, if you're watching the video, you can see my shirt. I am wearing my OKC Spark softball shirt, and I just wanted to let you all know that time is running out for you to get out and be able to support the OKC Spark team this season. I have been to several games this summer to get out and support Coach Amber Flores, who is a former Sooner. She's their head coach. Jaden Wallace is also a former Sooner. She's an assistant coach on the team. Owner Tina Floyd also is a sweet dear friend of mine, and Dr. Tina and Amber Flores were both on episodes of Sooner Girl Sports Pod back in March of this year, so you should go back and listen to them talking about the upcoming season for the Spark, and you won't want to miss that one. But I was able to get out and support them several times this summer, and I had a blast. The OKC Spark is stacked roster. There is one lone poke on the roster, Rachel Becker. There's several other excellent, very talented players from around the U.S., but it is stacked with Sooners. K9, Brito, Jocelyn Allo, Jada Coleman, Kelly Maxwell, Haley Lee. I do not want to be leaving someone out. I'm just spouting off the top of my head, but you guys, incredible, very talented team. And to get a chance to watch these girls, some of them 4-time national championship girls, in such an intimate setting, and a chance to possibly meet them after a game, you shouldn't let this pass up. They're playing their home games at Oklahoma Christian University. Like I said, check their schedule at okcspark.com or on social media. They're OK City Spark, and they're very good at posting updates about their games, their roster, events going on, and all the things. And again, they're playing at Oklahoma Christian University in Edmond. You don't want to miss getting out to support this team. So if you're listening to this, hop on over to their schedule right now, take a look, and get in to see them. The super affordable tickets, great atmosphere, and you won't want to miss out. So again, time's running out, so don't waste a second. Get over and check out their schedule and see when you can get out to support that team. And again, shout out to my friend Tina and Amber and their support of the show. I'm truly thankful for them and our friendship, and I am excited to get out and continue supporting the OKC Spark and their team in the future. Okay, to end the show with the Sooner Fun Fact of the Week, it is about Chris Gotterup. He was the Oklahoma men's golfer who in 2022 became the first in OU program history to win the Fred Haskins Award as the nation's most outstanding golfer. So he earned that excellent spot in the Sooner Fun Fact of the Week this week for he's had a fantastic week of play, as I just discussed. And so shout out to Chris for all of his accomplishments and for representing Sooner Nation so well. Again, thank you all so much for your overwhelming support of the show. As I mentioned before, it truly helps me more than you know to get out and leave a review on Facebook or one of the podcast apps. Give me a follow, download, subscribe on your favorite podcast app, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Substack, so you don't miss anything regarding the show, and follow me on social media at Sooner Girl Pod on all platforms. Again, I post all throughout the day, every day, up to the minute, as close as I can, information on updates on things on my Twitter/X and on my Instagram and Facebook stories. So again, go give me a follow on those places for sure, so you can interact with the up-to-date information that I'm putting out there. And my link tree is my link in bio on all my social media. It has everything linked to all social media platforms, all podcast apps. I have a link for merch. If you would like to support me with that, please go place an order. It's soonergirl.bigcartel.com, and you can go and support me by purchasing merch and then shoot me a picture, tag me in it on social media. I would love to see you supporting the podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Substack. You can subscribe for free. I have a new edition of the Playbook, my monthly newsletter, coming out soon. You won't want to miss out. You can sign up for free to get that delivered straight to your inbox, along with all the weekly podcast updates and any other major announcements regarding the show sent to you for free. Or you could pay $5 a month, ladies. It's my huddle for the locker room on Substack. We have a private chat on the Substack app, on Instagram. You get a discount on your merch. We have our online monthly huddles on Google Meet. I am planning another in-person meetup in the fall in Norman before a football game. I hosted one at Stella Nova in Norman before the AU softball game in June, and we had a great time. So I'm hoping to see more of you out for the one I'm planning in football season. But we have a lot of fun with the huddle. You've probably seen me post about it. Ladies, if you're interested in it and you want to check it out before you're committing, just shoot me a message. I'd be happy to accommodate that. And also, don't forget, if you own a business or just would like to support the podcast, there's so many ways you can do that for free. I've mentioned some of those by all of the social media and podcast apps and downloading and liking and all of that. Buying merch and wearing a shirt is free advertisement for me, and I truly appreciate that. But if you do own a business and you want to advertise or sponsor the show, I'd be happy to discuss that with you. I can shoot you an email with that information. But again, you can also find that information on my link tree, which is my link in bio on all social media. Everything I've discussed here is listed there. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com, or shoot me a message on any social media platform, and I'll be happy to get back with you. Guys, I have some fantastic guests lined up for football season. I have a great slate coming up, some new additions to the show, some new segments, some great guests who have committed to coming on. Lots of fun with the Crimson Chronicles, in addition to some former football players and other sports. I'm trying to keep up with all of them, guys. If you have any connections or ideas on someone that you would like for me to try to have on the show, I am open to suggestions. I am open to connections. I would love your support in helping me spread the word about the show. I truly appreciate it more than you know. And we're getting close to football, guys, and goodness knows I'm going to have a lot to say when that comes. So let's enjoy these last few weeks of summer and following fall camp. And I cannot wait to see you guys next Wednesday. I'm sure I'll have lots more to talk about when we talk sports.